When Samsung announced the Galaxy Book at MWC earlier this year, I got really excited. It's the follow-up to their Super AMOLED display variant that they released last year, the Galaxy Tab Pro S. I reviewed it, but there were some shortcomings, although I did love its gorgeous Super AMOLED display. Now I have its follow-up and I've been using it for the past week. Here's my take on it. This is the AMDtech review of the Samsung Galaxy Book. The Galaxy Book comes in two different flavors, a 10.6-inch entry level where you get a TN panel instead of the Super AMOLED panel, and you get only one USB Type-C. The 12-inch variant, which I have here from Verizon with LTE, comes in a pretty steep price tag at $12.99, but there is a Wi-Fi model that will start at $11.99 that can go up to 8 GB of RAM and 256 gigs of SSD storage. If you saw my review of the Galaxy Tab Pro S last year, you know I liked its AMOLED display, but I didn't care for its keyboard or its optional pen. So what's new with the Samsung Galaxy Book? Here are some key changes. First, you get a 7th Gen Intel Kaby Lake processor. The unit I have has the Core i5. The keyboard is much improved with better key travel and now has backlighting, and of course it's included in the box. And the improved pen is also included in the box and uses EMR technology. You get optional LTE from Verizon, which is what I have here, Intel Wireless AC, and you get extra ports with the ability to expand storage. What you get under the hood is the Intel Core i5 Kaby Lake processor. It's a 7200U CPU. It's got 4 GB of RAM and 128 GB of SSD storage. You can get a variant with 8 GB of RAM and 256 GB of SSD storage, which is expandable via the microSD card slot, which takes up to 256 GB cards. But there is no doubt that you're here to see this. Its gorgeous 12-inch Super AMOLED display that is absolutely stunning. It has a resolution of 2160 by 1440, that's 216 pixels per inch, and it does get bright. It's extremely sharp and very color accurate. The 10.6-inch model will have a TFT panel, not the Super AMOLED panel, but both will certainly have the 3:2 aspect ratio. Now, since this is a Super AMOLED display, you're going to get those deep inky blacks and those beautiful punchy vibrant colors that just seem to pop off the screen. And here's something new. It supports 10-bit HDR or high dynamic range content that really is absolutely stunning. Although content right now is limited, more is coming, but it certainly takes this AMOLED display to the next level. Now, the included keyboard case is much improved over the Galaxy Tab Pro S's keyboard from last year. It has better key travel and it gives you more options in terms of viewing angles. Now, it connects via the pogo pins on the bottom of the device, and it's a very strong magnet as demonstrated here. Although this is a much improved keyboard case, I still prefer the Infinity kickstand that you'd get with the Surface Pro 4. Now, you do get multiple angles, and they are much improved over the Galaxy Tab Pro S's keyboard of last year, which only had a very limited amount of angles. And you can put it into a tablet mode that gives you different viewing angles as well. But one thing it will do is take up more space than say you'd get with the type cover with the Surface Pro 4. So if you do a lot of traveling on airplanes, that's something to keep in mind. Now, the keyboard has about 1.5 millimeters of key travel. It's island style, chiclet style keys, and they're comfortable to type on for extended periods of time. Now, the trackpad is also much improved on this device. Two-finger scrolling was a pleasure. Windows 10 gestures worked as advertised. A very big improvement over the Galaxy Tab Pro S's keyboard of last year, and I think it's a little bit bigger than the Surface Pro 4's type cover as well. Another key improvement is the fact that it has multi-level backlighting. Now, unlike the Galaxy Tab Pro S from last year, which had only one USB Type-C port, this gives you more variety. It has two USB Type-C, they're both USB 3.0. You can charge the device from either port, and they can drive multiple monitors. And you get a 3.5mm headset jack that worked well with no interference whatsoever. It sounded very good when I plugged in my headphones. Now the model I have is the Verizon LTE variant, and it has the SIM tray on the other side of the device. It also houses the microSD card slot. You can outfit this unit with 256GB cards. On the top of the device you have your volume rocker up and down, and next to that you have your power button. The Galaxy Book sports two side-firing speakers. They sound really good, a very big improvement over last year's Tab Pro S, and definitely sound better than the Surface Pro 4. Let's hear them in action. Gigabytes of RAM, and it was supposed to have 256 gigs of PCIe SSD. Another mistake Amazon made by sending me one with 128GB SSD. Needless to say, this unit is going back, but I still gave it a full review nonetheless.
So this is the front-facing webcam on the Galaxy Book 12-inch. It's 5 megapixels, it shoots 1080p, 60 frames per second, and actually it's pretty good. It's pretty clear, the sound is pretty good, not bad for a 2-in-1. You definitely could do Skype, you could definitely do video conferencing if you need it. This certainly can get the job done.
There's a 13 megapixel autofocus camera on the back, and it takes 4K 30 frames per second video. Let's see it in action. Now another key area of improvement is the fact they include the pen in the box. So the Stylus is a much improved stylus over the variant that was offered last year, which was an optional pen, and I didn't like it. Now, as far as the pen is concerned, this doesn't use a quadruple A battery. It uses EMR technology, it's Wacom technology, and it has 4,096 levels of pressure sensitivity. And it happens to be the same S Pen we recently reviewed with the Galaxy Tab S3. Now, it does have very good pressure sensitivity, as I mentioned, and it does employ very good palm rejection. Samsung struck a deal with Adobe to support the tilt function. I will be doing a separate video with Photoshop to see how that works in action. I decided to do a separate video for the pen just to save time, and there is a lot to talk about as far as the pen is concerned, but suffice it to say, this pen will certainly make digital note takers and digital artists very happy, as it has very good pressure sensitivity, palm rejection works very well, and overall a great value in the fact that it is included in the box. And just like the Galaxy Tab S3, when you press the button on the stylus, that activates Air Command, which gives you a host of functions and applications that you can use, such as Screen Write, which allows you to take a note on the screen. You could create a new note. You could also do Smart Select, which will take a screenshot. I find the Air Command a pretty good useful function. It allows you to get to where you need very quickly with the pen. So stay tuned for the S Pen video coming very soon. Another big improvement is in performance. Its Intel Kaby Lake processor, the Core i5-7200U, did well. On the Geekbench 4 test, it did a 6675 on the multi-core score, and on the Octane 2.0 test, it did 28,413. Its SSD did 532.9 on the read and 453.9 on the write. It can do some gaming, you can do some light Photoshop, and you can do some light video editing. I will be doing a separate video on those areas as well in order to save time. It has Bluetooth 4.1 and it has Intel Wireless AC, which is dual band wireless. And the model I have has built-in LTE from the Verizon network, which also has GLONASS GPS. Now, Verizon has pretty good coverage through most of the United States, and I'm pretty much satisfied with it, although there are some spots where I didn't find that it was great as advertised. The wireless AC is dual band wireless. It worked really well, pretty good download speeds. My upload speeds is more to do with my internet service with Cox here in Las Vegas. The GPS worked well as advertised, and you can do turn-by-turn navigations with the Microsoft Maps.
Here we go. After 300 feet, turn left onto Nevada 160 South Blue Diamond Road.
The Samsung Galaxy Book has a 39 watt-hour battery, and here's how it did on the AMDtech endurance test. This is what I call normal use. That's YouTube, light gaming, web browsing under the Edge browser, some light Photoshop, email, and Netflix. That netted about 8.5 hours, again, under what I call normal use. But again, everybody's use is a little bit different, and depending on the task at hand, your mileage may vary, so please keep that in mind. Now, the Samsung Galaxy Book supports a fast adaptive charger, and it takes about 3 hours to go from 0% to 100% to fully charge the device. The fact that this is such a thin and light device, and it does get pretty decent battery life, in fact a large part due to the fact that it has an AMOLED display, which is much more power efficient than say a normal IPS display. Another great feature, which is a carryover from the previous iteration in the Galaxy Tab Pro S, is the fact that you have Samsung Flow, which allows you to use your Galaxy device. Here you see my Galaxy S8 Plus that allows you to log in using the fingerprint scanner on the phone. It also allows you to tether the phone wirelessly, turning your Galaxy phone into a hotspot. And you also can get your messages onto the Galaxy Book just like you would with a Mac with the continuity and handoff features. So, at the end of the day, can I recommend the Galaxy Book? Is it worth your hard-earned money? And the answer is absolutely. This is one of the best 2-in-1s you can buy right now in mid-2017. Here's what I like. I like its sharp, bright, Super AMOLED touch display. I like its Wacom Stylus EMR, meaning you don't need to get a battery, and it worked very well. We'll do a separate video, so stay tuned for that regarding the Stylus. And I liked its good performance from its Kaby Lake Core i5-7200U processor. I also liked its improved keyboard case. I also like the fact that you have the rich sounding speakers, really something that is a big improvement over the Galaxy Tab Pro S. And I like the fact that you get pretty decent battery life, in large part due to that Super AMOLED display, which is not power hungry. And I also like the fact that Samsung Flow is a pretty useful feature, but as with any device, there are going to be things I don't like. Here's what they are. It's not a very lappable machine when you try to use it in your lap, to take a term from Microsoft, and it takes up more space than the Surface Pro 4, so if you're on an airplane and you have the seat pack tray, that's something to keep in mind. And it doesn't have a USB Type A, which is not a deal breaker for me as we're moving forward to USB Type C. And some may call this expensive, but when you compare it to the Surface Pro 4, you're in the same range at that premium high-end 2-in-1 level. But with those few negatives aside, I have to say this is one of the best 2-in-1s you can buy right now. It checks all the boxes that you'd want, and the fact that you get that beautiful, stunning Super AMOLED display, you get the good performance, you get the good battery life, you get that really good pen in the box, and you get very good overall build quality. Coming together, making this the AMDtech Editor's Choice for the 2-in-1 category in mid-2017, making this worth your money. So what do you think about the Samsung Galaxy Book? Do you think it checks all the boxes that you'd want in a 2-in-1? I think it does. I think it's got that stunning Super AMOLED display, which makes this device rise above the rest. It's got the pen support, really like that Stylus, and I like the fact that it has good battery life, good performance with its Core i5 Kaby Lake processor, and I like its build quality. It's premium, it's really nice looking, and it's thin and light. There really is no bad part of this device. There's really no negative that I can think of. The only thing I would have preferred to have on this device perhaps is a kickstand. I also like the fact that it's got built-in LTE from Verizon. It's come in really handy, more handy than I thought, especially when you don't have to search for Wi-Fi hotspots and so forth. Really like having that always connected feeling with my devices, especially in a thin and light device. But I'm curious to know what you think. Leave a comment in that comment section below. Let me know what you think about the Surface Book. Now, one side note, I will be doing a special review or special look at the pen in a separate video. I didn't have enough time to do it in the review video. I didn't want to make the review video too long, so I will be breaking this up into performance videos, into the pen videos, and so forth. If there's anything specific you want me to review or something to look at with this device, let me know in the comment section below. So please hit the like button, please subscribe, please share this video. Don't forget to leave a comment in that comment section below. Let me know how I'm doing. Let me know if there's a device or something out there you think I should review. I'll do my best to try to make that happen. Don't forget to check us out on Facebook and on Twitter and our website, AMDtechreviews.com. So until next time, this is Andrew from AMD Tech. See ya.